Hey folks, we are going to continue working on the Martial Powers project today. Give me a second here to check my signal, and then we will get a confirmation that we're live. I'll go through my intro spiel, and then we're going to dive into work for a few hours. So checking, mic check, 1, 2, 3. Work for a few hours. 1, 2, 3. So, sounds pretty good. Let's see, get my stuff updated here. And if, for those that are arriving after the stream has ended and you're catching this in the future, you can skip ahead like 2 minutes so that you can skip over the intro, or if you've heard it before, go right ahead. But for everyone else that's new here, hey, my name's Phil Kearney. I create role-playing game supplements. I illustrate them, and then I publish them online. And I've been focusing my attention on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition here for the past 5 years. There is a slew of work that I've created that is published on DMsGuild.com that you can view. There's links to all of it down below. They all have extensive free previews. So whether you're here just for the artwork, you can click open those documents and look at the PDFs. There's about 150 different illustrations throughout the different books. If you're here for D&D, or if you're especially here for Magic the Gathering color mana conversion into D&D 5e, this is the place for you, man. We've got a ton of content that's awesome. This martial power system that we're developing right now expands on it even further. If you want to get notifications in the future about when I am live, you can follow me on Twitter if you would like, at Phil Kearney. We just posted that we're live. We have, of course, the color mana variant rule bundles here. As well as various illustrations and different projects that we're currently working at, and article content. We're at episode 91 of this project so far. We've been developing it for the past year. So if you want to get more notifications about stuff that we're building, whether it's artwork or design, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, get notification. We've picked up another 2 subscribers today. God bless you guys, man. Thanks a lot for being excited about this stuff with me, because it is super freaking cool. So what are we doing here? So if you check down and link down below, there's 2 things in particular. A, the Spelljammer book here. It's not published yet. This is what we work on Monday through Friday in the morning. We're doing all the artwork for that book. Check that out, because once this Martial Powers book is finished development, gone through all the playtesting that I feel comfortable with, sent off to an editor, wordsmithed into good wordage, and then sent back to me, we're going to be breaking down this 78-page document that we're looking at into the page-by-page breakdown for ideas, and then we're going to illustrate that whole book, and then we're going to publish it online as well. So this Spelljammer is going to give you a sneak peek of what that whole process looks like, but the color mana spell point, the Martial Powers project that we're here for was inspired by the color mana spell point variant rule books that are also linked down below. This is a system that converts spell slots and spell casting and the 8 schools of magic into a mana pool that you tap and burn, and uses, instead of 8 schools of magic, the 5 colors of magic from Magic the Gathering. So if you want to throw a fireball, a red spell, you're going to tap at least 1 red mana. You're going to burn that mana, and you're going to burn at least 2 more mana with of any color. So like 1 point of red mana and then 2 points of any color mana you want. You'll then spin, put into, you've spent that mana or burned it, and you burn that mana, you cast the spell, it's over. If I were to create Spirit Guardians, a white spell, a 3rd level white spell, I would tap to concentrate on 1 mana of white, because it's a white spell, plus 2 of any other color. I tap, 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 I tap 3 mana. While that mana is tapped, I am concentrating on that spell. If I was a 9th level cleric, up to 5th level spells, I'd have 2 channels of mana still open for me to concentrate on. So I could say, Spiritual Weapon is a 1st level spell, and Bless is a 1st level spell, so I could tap 3 mana, 1 white, and then 2 of any color to tap and concentrate on Spirit Guardians, and then I could tap 1 mana for Spiritual Weapon, and then I could tap 1 mana to maintain Bless. I'd have 5 levels worth of spells that I'm maintaining concentration on. And for me to do that, the side effect there is that my base DC for concentration checks are now 15, not 10. And what's even worse is that not only does damage cause you to make a Constitution saving throw to maintain concentration, minimum DC 15 or half the damage, whichever is higher, but any other saving throw you have to make while you're maintaining concentration. The saving throw that you roll, the result of your saving throw, is weighed against the concentration DC that you're maintaining. And if the result of your saving throw, like say you're making an intelligence saving throw because you got hit by Feeble Mind, for instance, and the DC for your intelligence saving throw is 17. You make an intelligence saving throw and you roll a 4, not only are you going to get feeble-minded, but you're also going to lose all the concentration on all those spells. Let's make it another example. Let's say you get hit with a color spray from an enemy mage, and the DC is only 12 to make a wisdom saving throw against that. You roll a 14. Even though you successfully roll a 14 to save against the color spray, the DC is less than the 15 you have to maintain for those 3 spells. You dump all your mana, you lose concentration on all your spells. You now have no mana maintained. You burned 5 mana. That mana now burns because you're not maintaining concentration for anymore. That's like one of the those are like some of the basic physics of how color mana works, and I've been using it for years at my table. It is awesome. I'm running across more and more people here online that have been using these systems and like it. I'm really excited about that. So what we're doing here is we're exploring into martial powers. Martial powers is very similar. It creates a mana pool for martial characters to spend or tap mana to either create burst effects like smite kind of damage, or to increase saving throws, or to add extra dice to ability checks or attack rolls, damage rolls, teleportation effects. You're burning mana to cause instantaneous or maintain spell effects. You're going to tap your mana to be able to maintain multiple effects. You use half casting progression. So at 17th level, you can maintain up to 5 mana worth of anything, or you can throw 5 mana into anything that you wanted to do, like a 5 mana smite spell, or a strike power, as we re-envision it in this document. Spend 5 mana, you're going to roll 5 10-sided dice, add that damage on top of whatever your damage is from the weapon that you're using, and whatever kicker effect that strike effect has, you're going to basically trigger against the target that you hit. It works with melees, and it can work with ranged weapons under different caveats. This is a system that has a very basic fundamental with a through line for everybody that, like everything in 5e, has a stack of exceptions and caveats that allows one character or one power to break or bend the rules in ways that other can't. So, like, for example, just to go explore it again here for everybody that's new out there, hey, let's go to our strike powers. So, like, for example, your weapon damage increases. Shocking strike. Your weapon can deal lightning damage and add 1 power die per mana burned. The creature cannot take opportunity attacks until the end of its next turn. So if I was 17th level, I dumped 5 mana on this shocking strike. I would deal 5d10 extra damage. It would be electrical, it would be lightning damage. My weapon itself could do lightning damage if I wanted, instead of like slashing damage or bludgeoning damage, whatever. And then on top of that, the target automatically cannot take opportunity attacks. We can look at like tripping attack. Your weapon damage increases by 1 power die per mana burned, and you can knock a creature up to 1 size larger than you or smaller prone. The target makes a strength saving throw to prevent this, adding the highest power adding the highest power die result to your channeling DC. So if you rolled 5d10, one of those dice was say the highest of the 5 you rolled was a 9. Then when you make your tripping strike, the DC they have to roll against your channeling DC, which is going to be your ability, your channeling ability score, whichever one it is that you choose, plus your proficiency bonus plus 8, like usual. So like at 17th level, it's going to be 14 plus probably a 20, like say 20 in your strength. So it's going to end up being a, what is that going to be? 8, 6, 14, 19, plus you rolled a 9, so the DC is going to be 28. So you're probably going to trip that guy. He's going to fall over. There you go. And then he's going to have to spin action gain up. But you have advantage to attack him while he's prone. So there you go. Hey, James, how you doing? So these are different strikes. Oh, shit, that's right. Let me update you guys, since you might not know. Checking down here in the description, if you click through to playtest content and early looks at my Patreon, you don't have to be a paying member to have access to this playtest content that I was literally just looking at with you. But if you want to be part of the playtest, if you have $1 or more that you put into my Patreon, you'll get preferential chair placement during the playtesting if you want to participate. Let's see, 4 tiers of play. Let me scroll down through playtest content. If you click on the YouTube streams, hi, you're watching us right here, right now, live. But you'd press the Martial Powers button, and that'll take you to this very same document that we're looking at here, Martial Powers. So it's an 81-page document right now, and all the classes are level 1 to 20. It's good to go. You're only looking at a read-only document, while I'm working on the live edit. Obviously, I'm the owner of the thing, so I do the live edits. This is not final language. Once we get all the playtesting finalized, we'll rework all the wording how our editor says. We'll then put it into a layout program like we do with our Spelljammer book in the morning. Mash out the language so all the ideas fit on the page nicely. Use proper language, which will be different from this. We'll then publish that to the DMsGuild. We'll drop off this playtest content. It won't be necessary anymore, because like everything else I have linked down below, there's extensive previews to everything that I do. So you can check out any of these color mana books, like the Tap on Tap Burn Core Mechanics at 75 pages. You can read every page. There you go. But there's all the mana tokens. There's an editable color mana spreadsheet inside of there, and there's a mana playmat for you to use with your tokens. So there's a ton of cool assets that you get if you buy it. But the ideas, I just want you to understand the ideas and absorb it, so you see where I'm trying. Because each of these things build onto the next one. Like Spell Point Sorcerers, Spell Point Artificers are going to be side pieces to the Spell Point Warlocks book that we have. This Martial Powers book is probably going to be about 110 pages, and it's going to be a tie-on and an expansion of the Core Mechanics book, because the Core Mechanics book just provides how to translate spell points into a color mana system using MTG. But this Martial Powers book, we had to develop an entire new set of spell-like abilities called powers, and then the mana source that goes into it, and how each of the classes interact with that mana pool. We have over 140 different powers, but you can also use powers. Instead of learning these different powers that cost mana, you can learn feats, you can learn damage types, or you can learn combat masteries, which is an expansion of the weapon mastery idea that is going to be in 1D&D. That each weapon has a certain type of property that's associated with it. By learning a cantrip-like power, you can then push anybody regardless of weapon. Like you can push them 5 feet, just like the weapon mastery can. But now it's a combat mastery that your character just knows how to use because you have this supplement. Maybe Wizards is going to do that. I think it'd be genius of them to do that, to decouple the masteries from the weapons. Like, I'm fine with a wizard having a push mastery if he's going to pick up a heavy hammer and punch you with it and knock you back 5 feet. That's cool. Go right ahead. But a fighter, like any of these martial characters, should have complete access to all of those masteries, just like wizards have access to a slew of cantrips. To me, it's the same thing. So you can spend known powers to pick up these cantrips to use for free. But all these strike powers we have duplicate and enhance those free masteries. So you can either not spend mana and use like a Vex mastery on every type of weapon that you use, or you can use a distracting strike. What is that? Like a 2 mana? Let's go find that real quick, and then I'll check out what you have to say down there, buddy, and then we'll get back to it. So Broken Strike. There you go. It's a 2 mana effect. If you use that, you're going to deal 2 extra power dice of damage. You're going to deal psychic damage, and the creature can only attack you until it loses line of sight of you or you are incapacitated. The creature can end this effect early by succeeding a wisdom saving throw at the end of each of its turns. Creatures immune to charm effects save with advantage. They aren't immune to it, they save with advantage. So you can provoke, like video game style, you can force creatures to attack you. It's like a very advanced form of, what is it? the spell, the paladin spell. It's something. God damn it! I forgot the name of the spell. There's like something foes, like compel duel. That's what it is. Compel duel. That's a saving throw, or they're at disadvantage to attack anyone else other than you. We have that as a goading strike at first with only 1 mana. Your weapon damage deals 1 power die per mana burn. The creature that strikes you has disadvantage on any attacks made that doesn't target you. The effect ends if the target hits you. It can also attempt to end the effect at the end of each of its turns by succeeding an intelligence saving throw. So you're going to deal extra damage as basically paying for the mana. But then you get this kicking, goading effect that becomes stronger as you invest in higher ranked powers. And every time you gain a level, you can switch out your entire kit of feats, powers, masteries, and damage types known. You can completely swap out your kit. So you can change how you're helping your team and just continuing to update what your action cycle loop is during combat. A lot of fun. This is our 93rd episode here. We've cracked through a crap ton of this. There's a ton of content for anyone to catch up on. 91st. Yeah, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Anyone that's new here, we keep doing this stuff until it's done, and then we start another project. We just keep rotating through stuff, and glad to have you here. So we've been working through monks. Excuse me. Getting over a cold here. Oh, thank you. Yeah, right on, my guy. So let's see. We are looking at monks. So each class here. Let's just walk you through what just for those that are new to school. Power system. It uses half casting progression. No power that is in this book is higher than 4 mana. So you gain the entire access to the 140 powers that are in the book by 13th level. So like if you're playing Descent into Avernus, you'll have top ranked powers available to you. The only difference is that 17th level, your die, your damage, your power die, your damage die, your stat die, your ability score die, your saving throw die modifier increases to a D10 from a D8. And you can channel up to 5 mana instead of 4. So like at 13th level, you could do that goading strike, but you could only put 4 mana into it. And you'd only be doing a 4d8. By the time you get to 17th level, it would be up to 5 mana for 5d10. And then you can see here that by 20th level, there's 16 powers that you know. Each subclass gains a kit of powers. Like, for example, Way of the Astral Self. It gains up to 10 unique powers that complement the flavor of what that subclass is. Not necessarily the most powerful or advantageous thing that you would want to use. But there's 140 powers, and you can change all of your 16 powers that you know every time you gain a level. So once these get on your bonus spell list, they're there permanently. These are yours. You can go switch out, like say you like power armor like it's a first level sustained power, right? Tap 1 mana, and you have force armor that increases by your it's like 10 plus whatever your maximum rank of power is. So at first level, it'd only be an 11. Oh yeah, plus your dexterity. So it'll only be 11. Is that how it works? Hold on. Let's go take a look at that. That doesn't sound thick enough. Let's go down to sustained. Neat. Let's look at power armor. What does power armor do for us? It's a first rank power. Where are you? Sturdy. Like a lobster. Power armor. Your armor class is 11 plus your dexterity modifier plus your proficiency bonus. We should probably change that to, yeah, we've updated since then. Plus your max rank of power. So that would be 5, 20, 5, 10. Like a rogue, for instance, that picked up power armor, would have, with a dexterity of 20, you would have a dexterity of 21 for 1 mana. And then you could tap that to maintain concentration on it until you begin a long rest or are knocked unconscious or someone hits you with a dispel magic. Otherwise, if you don't want to maintain concentration on it, you lock it. And when you lock a rank of power, when you lock a channel of mana, you lose that you lose that rank. So a 17th level character that can channel up to 5 mana, if you lock one of your channels, then you now only have access to 4 mana, as though you were only a 13th level character. So when you did a smite spell, you'd only be able to do 4d10 max because you locked one of your channels. You can lock all 5 of your channels, and no longer be able to use mana at all. But you don't have to maintain a saving throw. You don't have to maintain concentration on any of these effects that you're using. And some of this shit gets pretty fucking cool. This is just the first book. I can make expansions off of this forever. Like if I wanted to make a Dimir Poison Assassin, I could crack out like 15 or 20 Dimir black, blue mana abilities that were specific to the Dimir Assassin subclass and build like a 5-page kit out of it and put it out as a PDF. Awesome! So all I really want to do is like get a really good range of ideas in here for us to start the conversation so that we have things to talk about forever. And so like, for example, let us grab 3, celerity. It's not haste, it's celerity. While sustaining this power, you gain the following benefits. Your movement speed doubles, +2 to your armor class, gain advantage on dexterity saving throws from sources you can see, and you can use a bonus action to make a weapon attack, a dash, dodge, or disengage action. That is haste without the side effect of being stunned when it ends, and you can lock all 3 of that mana and it is permanently on until someone takes it away from you by death, taking a long rest, or being hit with a dispel magic. Hey, let's catch up. So, is it just the classes that are altered for this, or is this the thing that different races as well, Tabaxi, Tieflings? That is a really great conversation piece because you can create races that have an intrinsic point of mana. Like, for instance, you could have a Simic hybrid out of the Ravnica setting. Simic is blue-green magic, right? So you could have a Simic character at first level. Instead of gaining a feat, they could gain 1 point of mana and any power that they want of first rank or that's free to use. So you could gain a free feat if you wanted, or instead, you could learn a power that requires 1 feat. Like, for example, Unnatural Resistance. No, that's a second rank power. Lycanthropy. You could create a Simic hybrid with Lycanthropy that would gain all of these benefits by maintaining that 1 point of mana and locking it. They now don't use mana, but they've used the 1 point of mana they have and they've locked it. It would be either blue or green, and then at 4th level, they get another point of racial mana. That would be the other color of whatever guild it was. Or if you're playing like Dominaria or Alara, you could choose like any of the 5 colors or whatever realm from Alara you're from, like whatever your 3, like if you're Bant, like maybe you'd pick like white or green, or like those 2 out of the 3 colors you have access to at 1st, 4th, and then maybe at 9th you'd get a 3rd color if you're playing Alara or Dominaria or like Phyrexia or something like that, or like Oldheim. So if you're an MTG enthusiast, you know the color system. This is built to use it, but you can just use generic key like monks do, or sorcery points like sorcerers do. They're just generic. And color magic then becomes a descriptive. I'm playing a Simic hybrid, so my magic is always blue-green, and then you describe it however you want. But if you use the mana system with color mana, then I'm going to assign X amount of points of green and X amount of blue to my mana pool, and when I'm out of green, I'm out of green. I gotta take a short rest so I can switch the colors of what's in my pool. I get all my mana back, like fighters, monks, rogues, and barbarians get all their mana back on a short rest, and monks, warlocks do too. And the other casters, they get theirs back on a long rest. The rangers, the paladins, and all the full casters, they get theirs back on a long rest. But every time you take a short rest, you can switch out what mana, how much color you have assigned to each point of mana in your pool. So like if you're going with Simic and you have 30 points of mana in your pool, you could go like 15, take a short rest, and let's just go heavy on blue, because your different powers and your different spells that you have are devoted to different colors. So you either have to spend extra known spells to learn a spell in a different color or a power in a different color, or you have to spend time and money to research that power or spell to be the color that you want it to be. So you only have to spend 1 known spell or 1 power on that. So you have those 2 choices. For free, you'll have less versatility. More versatility by spending downtime and money researching it, or getting access to a resource as like, say, a treasure reward. Hey, I'll give you a spell that you know, and I'll convert it to red mana for you, so that your Zet character can now use, like, say, a black spell using red mana. So that's how the system works. It's super fluid and super easy. It's so fun to use. It's so cool. Can you simplify? I don't know what you need me to simplify for you. But if you're, do you know If you don't know Magic the Gathering, this might not mean anything to you yet. This is something to geek. Like there's either it's either doesn't like it either doesn't matter what it is because it's just like a pool of key points, and then any kind of magic that you attach to it's just flavor description. But the two systems that we offer for you to tack onto the pool is either going to be color mana from Magic the Gathering or elemental magic, like from Avatar: The Last Airbender. So if you wanted to make sustained powers, if each of the powers, if you decide to go down that route, each power will have a different element assigned to it. So you can either learn all of the air powers using nothing but air mana. So you're an airbender, and all the powers you know are either naturally air-bending powers, or I want to know that fire-bending thing, but I'm going to spend an extra known power so I can pick it up instead of as a fire-bending technique as an air-bending technique. So I can do things you wouldn't expect an airbender to be able to do. But now I have to flavor that fireball as an air magic, right? So instead of it being like a big fireball that explodes, it's now just like a giant hurricane that just rips out in the middle of everybody and throws everyone around, dealing air, which is either cold or bludgeoning damage instead of fire damage. Okay, great. Hey, Karen, it's good to see you. So yeah, that's the idea behind it, and you'll, as we go through the book and we go into playtesting, you guys will see how you can assign. In the playtest, we're going to use magic because it's I'm a big Ravnica enthusiast, and I'm building this to help complement the color mana spell point variant rules. But we can also switch gears occasionally and build out elemental characters. So we can do airbender stuff. We can play Avatar. So this, you can, by the way, you can use this system like the splicer, the elemental splicer that's on DMsGuild, and there was I think there was a 5e Avatar game that came out. I think that's the case, but it doesn't matter if it's a key point system that they use. You can swap in this, and it'll work with almost any third party that uses a key pool that goes from level 1 to 20 or a spell point spell slot system. This completely can replace it as long as it's a 5e base game. Like you could use this in Lancer if you wanted to, by giving your pilots a mana pool or giving your ship a mana battery that can then perform these things against other mecha. Or you could use it in Pathfinder if you wanted and convert your Pathfinder game into an MTG or an airbender system. You just got to pick up the stuff and understand how it works, and then you would have to do work in Pathfinder to convert all the stuff. But in the we provide all the color conversions for all the spells if you pick up the documents. So we give you the player's handbook stuff, but everything from all the books are in the expanded document that's provided in the zip file that we sell. So hey, what's up? But are the racial benefits? It's the book isn't built around race. We don't have anything core to race currently. We can, but that's an expanded conversation. So I don't actually really have anything formal. I'm just riffing about how easy it can be done. So, but are the racial benefits changed for the? Yeah, we're not doing anything with race today. This book is only dealing with classes and subclasses. I was just putting out there that if you wanted to use this system as a racial modifier, that's how you would be able to do it. So that's kind of putting the cart before the horse. We have an opportunity to get there, but that's going to be like third generation after this publishes next year. So that would be like a good Q4 project for 2024. And I'd be happy to dive down that path. Very happy to do so, especially if they're going to release another Magic setting. But there's Theros, Strixhaven, and Ravnica that currently exist that can all benefit from that racial idea, and by tying more mana into their characters. And then we can build like goblins are red and yada, yada, yada. But that's a little tangential to the conversation today. But it's a great question. I'm looking forward to fleshing that out. So stick around. So each of the classes have a way of cheating their mana supply. And so we'll go up here real quick. There's a ton of stuff that we have modified about the monk that is a float over from the elemental key book that we created and published on DMsGuild last year. That's in that color mana bundle down below. But give me a second here, and let's get into the monk for us to take a look at. We'll just look at the come on. Where are we at? Rune Knight, Rogue, Archetype. I think it's Yeah, monk's after that. Cool. Okay, so martial die, replenishing. Here we go. The martial arts die, you can either use your martial arts die or you can use your power die, whichever one is better. And once one D&D comes out in 2024, it'll probably be the martial arts die is going to be better than the power die that we're offering. So that is just a leg up that the monk is automatically going to have over everybody else, because it's probably going to end up with a D12 at 17th level while the rest of us are working with a D10. That's awesome. On top of that replenishing pool, here's your fix to the monk. For anyone that's concerned about their mana pool, when you roll initiative, you regain a number of mana equal to your maximum rank gained as a monk. So, and a monk has half casting. Sorry, rolling up my sleeves here, getting serious. The monk uses the same half casting progression as everyone else does. So if you take one level of monk and bail, then yeah, every time you roll initiative, you'll get a point of mana back. And even spellcasters could benefit from that because they have a mana pool just like everyone else is. And since they took a level of monk, they could pick up on that. And I'm thinking, because of that, I want to push this back to 3rd level. So let's go. Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier today, because most of the cool stuff that the other classes have don't come online until 2nd through 2nd through 7th. Like the rogue gets some of their stuff starting like at 7th level, so some of it's really late. So I'm thinking, let's see where the fighter's at, because the monk should not be any worse than the fighter. So let's see when the first perk from the fighter comes into effect. We don't spend a lot of time on the fighter. I just wanted to take a look at when does its earliest sweetness come in. Modified 2nd wind at 1st level. When you use 2nd wind, you can also regain a number of spent mana equal to the max rank of power gained as a fighter. So at 1st level, it'd be 1 mana. Granted, you can only use, well, once 1 D&D gets updated, you're going to have a number of 2nd winds. But let's see, optional empowered strike that comes in at 5th. Okay, so that's at 1st, and then the empowered strikes comes in at 5th, which is you can give up one of your attacks to gain a free point of mana to make an attack. And I might actually enhance that further, but right now it's when you hit, if you have any attacks that remain, you can forego any other attacks to gain free points of mana to do a strike without costing you any of your own mana to do. It's temporary mana that you gain for free equal to the number of attacks that you sacrifice after you hit with this one. If you don't have any attacks left, then you don't gain any free mana. You're going to have to spend your own mana. If you have 4 attacks because you're a 20th level fighter and you hit with the first attack, you can forego the rest of your attacks and get 3 points of mana for free to channel into a strike power when you hit that with that first attack. So that's pretty hip. So that's 1 and 3. Let's actually go up to, the barbarian and see what they get. Because I'm starting to think 3rd level for monk is actually going to be okay. So hold on. Barbarian, martial powers, mana, channeling rage. Let's see. Empowered rest. As a bonus action, you can spend barbarian hit dice to recover mana equal to the hit dice spent up to your maximum mana total. So you can exchange hit dice for mana as a bonus action. And then primal stamina, you automatically gain back all your hit dice whenever you finish a long rest, not half of them. And then you also gain empowered strikes at 5th, but that's very limited. The monk would have no limit because it would be based on the number of fights per day, not on the number of abilities that they have. So that makes me think we should push that back a little bit. I think I'm going to push it back to 3rd. We're going to test that out to see if it feels good. Because at 3rd rank, you're only going to have 1st rank powers. And then at 5th level, you'll have 2nd rank, but you have to keep gaining levels. So for multi-class purposing, we want to push this back, not so far back that it doesn't really benefit you, but you do want to push it back a bit so that people that want to dip monk to gain that sweet free point of mana forever, they're going to have to invest some serious levels to take them away from, like, say, full casting. It's going to delay them a lot. So I think making it 3rd is probably reasonable. We've made so much stuff on the monk free that they've gained that value back already. So I think we can afford to do that. My gut's telling me that's the right thing to do. So I'm going to follow my gut here again. But there's another thing. So we're looking at 3rd level. alternate feature. There you go. So third level. So first rank, but you're gaining mana at first level. Currently, the monk doesn't get mana until second level. So we're giving you a 1 point of mana, and here's a really sweet piece. Unlock channels. So this is a third. This is also a third level effect. Do I have things out of order here? Focus strike, flurry of blows. No, everything's in order. Unlock channels. So when you lock a sustained power, your max channel limit gained as a monk is not reduced, nor is the maximum amount of mana you can recover. At 11th level, you can sustain locked powers during a long rest. Okay, so what does that mean? Alternate, optional class feature. Okay, so like we discussed earlier at the very beginning of the episode, if you want to avoid making concentration checks, you lock the mana. By locking the mana, it reduces the amount of mana that you can use at a time. If you're only second level, second level, you only have access to first rank powers, and you sustain a power that's first rank, 1 mana, you lock that mana, you no longer have to concentrate on it, but you've cut yourself off from any other mana because all of your channels are locked. The monk, starting at third level, doesn't have that problem anymore. You lock it, you don't have to maintain concentration on it anymore, but your channel isn't blocked. So a monk at 17th level can sustain and lock 5 ranks worth of sustained powers and still be able to channel 5 mana worth of strikes. So the monk really stands out as a fucking terror on the battlefield because you can do all these mana effects to buff up your aura and get super buffed and still be able to smack the fuck out of people with 5 mana smites. And at 17th level, you're gonna get back 5 mana no matter how much. If you have less than full mana, whenever you roll initiative, you're gonna get 5 back. If you have, and normally, if you have mana sustained or locked, when you regain mana, you don't regain the mana because it isn't burned yet. You don't burn the mana until you end maintaining the spell. When you untap or unlock the mana, then it burns and goes to your spent mana pool. And until you finish your short rest or some sort of trigger effect happens, that spent mana can't go back into your mana pool. So you're always taking short rests or triggering your caveat to get mana back into your mana pool or to get temporary free mana to bolster what's in your pool. So these are the tricks that the monk can use to cheat the system that no one else has access to, except for the barbarian. The barbarian can also do this while raging. While raging, locked effects on a barbarian. A barbarian, when they rage, they have to lock their mana because they can't maintain concentration while raging. But while raging, locked powers don't block their channels because they're raging. When you end your rage, the powers remain locked, but you can't channel through them anymore because you're not raging anymore. So the monk and the barbarian have super cool parallels with each other that lets them complement each other. Because there's always been this complement of like the barbarian zealot is like a spirit warrior, like a fervent spirit of their god. It has a very monk-like feeling to it. And this is making that rage feel even more like monk by having their cheat mechanics work together. So you could have a barbarian monk that doesn't have to concentrate at all on any of the things that they do. They can be raging while doing all the cool monk shit at the same time. So like a 10-10 monk would be awesome because you're gaining multi-class stuff at 10th level off of the barbarian, and you're getting, anyway, it's cool. It's multi-classing is super sick with this system because it's all built to work together for martials, but it doesn't work at all with full casters. Like you can't lock spells that you're concentrating on, only powers, which is a fun, interesting note that we made last week when we built out the Way of the Four Elements, because the Way of the Four Elements gets all of, instead of gaining bonus powers, gets all of these spells instead. So these spells are things that you get to pick up on top of the 16 powers that you know. Here, wait for it. Yes. All right, so we're gonna get to work here pretty soon. I'm just excited. So the monk is going to know 16 powers of his choice by 20th level. On top of it, you're going to know all these powers. What is it? It's you can choose any number. You gain 2 of the first rank powers. You gain the cantrip for free, and then you gain another one at 5th, 7th, 9th, 11th, 13th, 15th, 17th, and 19th, which is 10 spells. So it works out perfectly. So every time you gain a level, you can swap out your entire list of spells that you know, and so it continues to upgrade if you want to. But you can't lock any of these. You can only sustain and maintain concentration. But once the monk fills up all 5 of his ranks with different effects that he's locked concentration on, you can't maintain concentration on any of these effects. But you could use like Feigns of the First Strike, Fist of Four Thunders. You could use all these things. 5 ranks, no problem. Breath of Winter, you can use Cone of Cold, no problem. But if you have all 5 ranks locked, you wouldn't be able to use Eternal Mountain Defense, for example. But you probably wouldn't want to, because there's better things to do with your mana to lock than use Stone Skin. So, but we're adding them here for conclusion, because we're just integrating what's in the player's handbook, Tasha's, and Xanathar's into this power system with as little bias about what's smart or it isn't as we can. So we added this entire list. You can check out the Elemental Key book down below for a different take on it if you wanted to. So that's the walkthrough on how the monk works, on the basic power systems, on the known power acquisitions. I need to pop some pills real quick. Hold on real quick. I've still got this cold going on, so I'm working through. So I still have to take some freaking DQuil every 4 hours, and of course I streamed this morning and chalked up all that time. But today we're going to play with the Kinsei. So what we're going to do first is we're going to look at the features to see if any of the features that the Kinsei gets would be enhanced, complemented, or potentially replaced by any ideas we may have how the martial power system works with what the Kinsei offers. And once we're done converting the features of the Kinsei, we're going to build a kit of 10 powers known. And that can honestly be an arduous task, because it's not always obvious what it is. So that's why we get paid the big bucks. We put in the work that others won't, so everyone can have what others don't. Let me catch up on the notes here real quick. Oh, hey, James. No, you're passionate about it. I love it. I think that's fantastic, my dude. I am honestly looking forward to getting into races. It's just, we just got to keep baby steps. It's just, everything is slow, meticulous, so that we are confident and proud about what we put out. So it's impeccable. I can stand behind it. I've been using this at my 20th. I've been using this since 12th level at my table, and we just hit 20th level. So I'm really confident about this whole system at the top end of the tier. I just need to play test it at the low end to make sure it's as fun as it is at the high levels, so that we can pace that out. But once this book is published, then we get to start diving further into looking at like Owlin races, Simic races. We can go across like Mana for Eberron, yada 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 yada. But it's baby steps, forever baby steps. So we'll keep at it till we win. Let's see. We want to go down to the Kinsei. Way of the Kinsei. I'm going to grab all this. One with the blade. Kinsei weapon. God's willing. I have until 2 o'clock, so we got 2 hours. I'm going to go to my blank entitled notepad. Huzzah. Blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to figure out I can't zoom. All right. I'm trying, because my vision is so damn limited, it's hard for me to read. I'm trying to make sure that my monitor is not getting like I'm not blocking my camera. Here's the edge. Here's the edge of my monitor. You can't see it, but it's at an angle. So I have it tilted, butt up, so that your text is closer to my face. But I want to make sure that it's not cutting off line of sight to me. And it looks like the edge is going to be. If I lean in, I don't ever lean in closer to this because my chest is against my desk now, and it's this far away. This far away from my 32-inch monitor. That's how blind I am. I do not drive, don't worry. But yeah, I can easily read this now. So, no, man, James, you're great. You're super great. Let's see. So I have to tilt this. So I can tilt this in to read stuff, and then I can pull it away. I'd rather not have to tilt it at all. So I need to start sliding. I use so much of the right-hand side of my screen. But I don't want to have this over on the other side of the monitor because then I'm going to be looking over here to read your chat. So you're going to be having a deep connection with my ear hole. So I want to have the text over here so that it's making sense, that the line of sight is making sense. So I have better connection in the conversation with y'all, given the limitations that I have on what I can do with my eyes. So I'm trying to make my machinery work for me. It's like I said before, it's limitations in your life that breeds creativity. So let's see. Here, I'm going to drop this out into its own thing. I'm going to jump up here. 3, 6, 11, 17, and we'll see. Well, I don't even know if the Kinsei needs modifications. So far, we've seen, this is our second iteration through stuff, and our mechanics, our familiarity to the system is far more than it was 7 months ago when we first built this stuff out. It took me that long to circle back around to get to the monk as like a first look, and we've been finding improvements every time. So this is good. This is really good, but I don't make any assumptions. So, without further ado, Way of the Kinsei! Monks of the Way of the Kinsei train relentlessly with their weapons, to the point where the weapon becomes an extension of their own body. Founded on a mastery of sword fighting, the tradition has expanded to include many different weapons. A Kinsei sees a weapon in much the way a calligrapher or a painter regards a pen or brush. Whatever the weapon, the Kinsei views it as a tool used to express the beauty and precision of the martial arts. That such mastery makes a Kinsei a peerless warrior is but a side effect of intense devotion, practice, and study. Way of the Kinsei! Monk level features 3rd, Path of Kinsei, 2 weapons. 6th, 1 with blade, Path of the Kinsei, 3 weapons. 11th, sharpen the blade, Path of the Kinsei, 4 weapons. 17th, unerring accuracy, Path of the Kinsei, 5 weapons. Path of the Kinsei! When you choose this tradition at 3rd level, your special martial arts training leads you to master the use of certain weapons. This path also includes instruction in the deft strokes of calligraphy or painting. You gain the following benefits. Kinsei weapons. Choose 2 types of weapons to be your Kinsei weapon. 1 melee weapon and 1 ranged weapon. Okay, each of these weapons can be any simple or martial weapon that lacks the heavy and special properties. The longbow is also a valid choice. You gain proficiency with these weapons if you don't already have it. Weapons of this chosen type are monk weapons for you. Many of this tradition's features work only with your Kinsei weapons, which you reach 6th, 11th, and 17th level in the class. You can choose another type of weapon, either melee or ranged, to be a Kinsei weapon for you, following the criteria above. All right, most of this class is already irrelevant, so we're gonna have to really make a bunch of shit up. No changes indeed. Oh man, that makes me laugh. All right, let's look at agile parry. If you make an unarmed strike as part of the attack action on your turn and you're holding a Kinsei weapon, you can use it to defend yourself if it is a melee weapon. You gain a +2 bonus to armor class until the start of your next turn, while the weapon is in your hand and you aren't incapacitated. If you make an unarmed strike as part of the attack action on your turn and are holding a Kinsei weapon, you can use it to defend yourself until this turn while the weapon is in your hand and you aren't incapacitated. Huh. Okay, well let's let's start there. Path of the Kinsei. All right, we'll start there. Path of the Kinsei. Hold on. Okay, here's a problem that we have. Here's why I'm laughing about all this so much. Let's go to, I don't know why I opened up another window. I can just go over here instead. Let's go down here, and then let's click on, let's go take a look. Pacts and patrons, 5 color mana spell point barrels. There we go. This will open up the bundle that we have, and then let's go down to tap on, tap burn, elemental key, which is the way the 4 elements modification we made. By the way, this thing's this is like 8 sales away from being a silver bestseller. There's like less than 10 monk themed books that are silver bestsellers on the entire website of 50,000 some odd different documents. So thanks for all the support, guys. Really loving y'all out there. Thank you. Let's see. Let's get down to, here we go. All right, here's all the shit that's gonna go along with the monk once the martial powers book gets, like the monk gets a lot of stuff. Art of battle. Let's just focus in on the art of battle. Replace this martial arts in the player's handbook. You can use any weapon you're proficient with as a monk weapon and gain the following benefit. I think this is this actually in? Let's scroll down here to see if I actually have this text in here. If I don't, I'll add it because it really needs to be in here because it's part of the playtest. It should be in here. I know there's some stuff missing that I haven't transposed over because you can just grab this document. You know, you can just get the free preview of this and have the PDF. Thanks for buying it, but you can just grab the PDF and take a look at it. Go back up to the monk. Let's go to the monk. Art of mobility, flurry of attacks. Oh no, I don't have it in here yet. Okay, well here it is. First art of battle. I'll get it in there for you. You can use any weapon you're proficient with as a monk weapon, and that includes natural weapons like fangs and claws, and unarmed attacks, and improvised weapons that you become proficient in. Like if an improvised weapon is treated as a club, you're proficient with a club, so improvised weapon in that case you'd be able to use that as a martial arts weapon. So with a monk weapon and gain the following benefits when not wearing heavy armor or wielding a shield. You can use your wisdom modifier for attack and damage rolls, which will be, you can use your channeling class feature for attack, which will be, I believe it's wisdom, dexterity, or strength. Unarmed strikes and any weapons you're proficient with, you can roll a d4 in place of normal damage for your unarmed strikes or any other weapon you're proficient with. This die changes as you gain levels, as indicated on the progression table, which is here. Starts with a d4, becomes a d6, becomes a d8, becomes a d12, and here at 17th level it becomes a d12. I think Wizards is just going to make this d4, d6, d8, d6, d8, d10, d12. Either way, you're going to win. Whenever you hit... this die, monk progression. Okay, this die changes as you gain levels. The die changes, you gain levels, monk levels as shown on the martial progression table. Whenever you hit with an unarmed attack, you can choose to deal bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage. Your unarmed strikes are considered to be weapons worth at least 1 silver piece that possesses the finesse and light weapon properties for use of spells, feats, and features requiring those prerequisites. Like sneak attack, for instance, you'd be able to use your unarmed strikes as sneak attacks because they're finesse and light weapons. So you could freely mix rogue with monk if you wanted to have like a sneak attack, shadow jump mount, monk rogue crossover thing. Anyway, you can make an attack with an unarmed strike or any light weapon you're holding and proficient with as a bonus weapon. You add Strike of the Green Flame and Booming Strike to your list of prepared disciplines, and you have and at 17th level you gain Still and Strike. So these are cantrips: Strike of the Green Flame, which is Green Flame Blade, and then Booming Strike, which is Booming Blade. You can use those as cantrips. So if this class can use those as cantrips, that will be cut. That's an elemental key thing only. But those are all, this is all the chain of features that you get for, instead of the martial arts, this is art of battle. So we're trying to decouple from that key monkish sort of idea a little bit. I like the idea of monk. I like the name. I love Sohei. S-O-H-E-I, Temple Warriors, Temple Guardians. I love those classes the most. But those are even worse than monks. So I'm fine with monk. I'm fine with key being mana instead of key or discipline points or whatever political correct points you want to use. Mana is always in vogue. But this is a bunch of cool shit that you get. All of your weapons are proficient. All your weapons get treated as martial arts weapons, which is why I laugh about the Kinsei, because the Kinsei says, oh yeah, you can use a two-handed sword if you want as a monk weapon. It's like, well, we already gave you all that shit for free because you're a martial character. You should have access to all that shit for free. So that makes a lot of this path of the Kinsei kind of irrelevant because it silos what you can do. So what we need to do is come up with cheaty sort of things, like ways to cheat the system for you to be able to get boosts out of the path of the Kinsei, just to make them fucking cool. So what I'm thinking is, where unlock channel. Let's get back down to Kinsei. All right, agile parry. Here's what I'm thinking. While wielding a weapon you are proficient with, you gain a +2 bonus to AC. Enough said. That's sick. Right there, that's fat. All you have to do is hold a dagger and you can use it as a shield. I do that all the time in martial arts. That's like what the sword is built. You would be amazed at how much churning your sword from being flat edge to from being point on to flat edge. How much of a shield that actually creates. Look at that. That seems like foreshortening, hiding my face, but if you hold a sword out at arm's length and you put up, it seriously can block. You have to have a very specific, a very, very close cut across that edge of the blade to be able to hit somebody in the head. It is an effective strategy. A polearm, like a bow staff at 6 feet, if you hold it at arm's length, you can hold a bow staff like this to keep your fingers from being in front of it. You can hold a bow staff like a cat paw. You can hold it like that, and that is effective when you have the end planted down. It's resistant to strikes, and at this length, it creates a legitimate shield barrier against incoming attacks. It's effective. It's really effective. I love this as a class feature. I'm stoked. I don't currently, but I spent maybe 20 years studying Japanese combat, armored, sword fighting, unarmed techniques from different periods of Japanese history, and also incorporated some of that stuff into more modern stuff. Like instead of like stabbing your finger into a tree for a decade to build up a thick claw like a bear, you can just use a bottle cap to cut at people's skin. Like you can punch people in the eye with a bottle cap and tear out their eye. Ew. But if you think like that, you become really dangerous. A lot of the times, a lot of like safety defense and stuff like that is just learning how to get yourself used to being really being willing to be as violent and visceral as survival requires without thinking about societal constraints. Like, go for the eyes, boo. That's like tip number one, man. If someone's going after you, you blind them and they're done. As soon as you take out one eye, they're gonna really reconsider whether they need your wallet or not. Like, if you want to take me to the ground, that's fine. You won't ever see again, because I'm gonna blind you for grabbing me. But I mean, that's a survival zone line. If it's just a drunk friend that's fucking around with you, then you don't gotta blind the guy. Just punch him in the head until he goes to sleep. But if it's your life on the line, yeah, you can stick your fingers out inside people's mouths and get around their teeth and hook behind their teeth and control their jaw. It's disgusting to think about it, but you can grip on like that and then push your fingers in their eye and use their own teeth as leverage to pull the pistol. Sorry, I'll stop. But I spent 20 years studying that kind of attitude. So I have a couple of opinions about how things work. And when I see things that I could consider realistic being expressed in elegant terms in a game, like, I don't think like D&D should be realistic at all. That's ridiculous. But it's fun thinking about how things can actually play out and how the mechanics can actually represent horrible things that can actually happen in reality. Agile parry, Kinsei's shot. Okay, so you can use a bonus action on your turn to make a ranged attack with a Kinsei weapon more deadly. Oh, what we got going on here? When you do so, any target you hit with a ranged attack using a Kinsei weapon takes an extra... Oh, I love that. Okay, I'm on board. You guys know where this is going, right? You can see this already, right? You can see where this is going. While wielding a... Is that the right language? You can use a bonus action on your turn to make your ranged attacks with a Kinsei weapon more deadly. When you do, any target you hit with a ranged attack using a Kinsei weapon takes an extra d4 damage of the weapon's type. You retain this benefit until the end of your current turn. While wielding a ranged weapon, you can use a bonus action to add 1 power die of damage to any ranged attacks you make until the beginning of your next turn. Trunk. Till your next turn. Tron, knock it off. There you go. See, and that'll upgrade. So you'll start with a D6, then it'll become a D8, and then it becomes a D10. Use a bonus action to gain focus, and your ranged attacks will automatically do an extra power die without having to spend any mana. It costs you the bonus action. That is sick. That is so sick. What else you got? What else you got? Way of the brush. Jesus Christ. Sure. Let's instead just call it bonus skilled. Let's call it skilled. No. Artisan training. Let's do that instead. You gain the skilled feat. Learning calligraphy. Gaining proficiency with calligraphy tools and any 2 skills, tools, or languages of your choice. There. Skilled is such a great feat to give the characters at 3rd level. I love that. What else you got going on here? Right on. Much respect. Very hard strikes. Very respectful. If people aren't expecting a solid hit, you can really shut down a conversation fast. Big respect. One with the blade, level 6. Let's see what this is all about. Hold on, I gotta do a thing. Sorry about that, gang. All right. Path of the Kinsei. We're looking at Way of the Blade, 6th level. What do you do? Let's find out what this do. God, that was cool as shit. I love breaking that apart, man. That was so cool. Get rid of all this crap. Let's see. One with the blade at 6th level. Let's actually reduce the size of this a bit. At 6th level, you extend your ki into your Kinsei weapons, granting you the following benefits. Magic Kinsei weapon. Your attacks with your Kinsei weapon count as magical for the purposes of overcoming resistance and immunity to non-magical attacks and damage. Death Strike. When you hit a target with a Kinsei weapon, you can spend 1 ki point to cause your weapon to deal extra damage on the target equal to your martial arts die. You can use this feature only once on each of your turns. Okay, so we already know that you can spend a point of mana to gain a power die of damage, which is equal to your martial arts die if it's better than your power die, anytime you hit with an attack, which by the time you get to 6th level could be up to 4 times per round if you really want to burn through 4 mana. But you can. You can Nova like that. It's super fun. Oh boy, we gotta swap out all this shit. Let's see. One with the blade, huh? We might be doing some blending here. So, Theft Strike is completely irrelevant. Death Strike. When you hit with a target. Okay, let's finish exploring the class. Let's exploring the level before we decide how we need to bend it around. Because seriously, like everything in the Kinsei is like completely irrelevant. Like you start off as a Kinsei just by picking a monk with martial powers. So we're gonna have to spruce this boy up. Kinsei weapon. When you reach 6th level in this class, you can choose another type of weapon, either melee or range, to be your Kinsei weapon for you, following the criteria above. Okay, well, that's worthless. So let's go to what is that? Kinsei weapon, magic. What? No, we'll go with magic. Wave the blade. Magic Kinsei weapons. Yeah, okay, we'll call it that. You gain 1 weapon damage type of your choice from any basic or advanced damage types as listed in the powers section below, period. There you go. Basically a free power. Let's go down to, how are you not? I must have reset this one. Grab it in your, there we go. Okay, so instead of learning a power that requires mana, you can learn feats. Lots of feats. More than 16, that's for sure. You could also pick up the combat masteries. We currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 weapon masteries. I think I can make Trip automatically succeed when it's a tripping strike. I think that's fair. I mean, they're only prone. Well, they get the that would kind of upgrade to they're prone, which takes movement, and they get you have advantage against them while they're prone, and they're disadvantaged to attack you. So that's actually a lot of mana value. God, that makes me feel like Stripping Strike should be a second rank power instead of a first rank power, if they don't have to make a saving throw to be affected by. That's. I'll probably end up doing that. But okay, so here's the 8 masteries that I was talking about earlier on that you can basically, use these with any weapon instead of having a weapon mastery. It's combat masteries, right? Simple shit. But all this stuff requires saves for the most part, except for the step. You can shift position and 5-foot step as part of your attack. This is a good one to have just no matter what, because you gain a 5-foot step as part of any attack that you make. And like a fighter, a 20th level fighter that's got 4 attacks and then has 2 bonus attacks. If you take like a feat or like celerity, for example, you now have 2 actions that give you attacks, and each time you make an attack, you can take a 5-foot step. You could end up having 35 feet of movement because you've got double strike, which is a bonus action, make 2 attacks. The fighter's full 4 attacks at 20th level, and then celerity is a 3-mana effect. So you could technically have up to 7 attacks per round permanently as a 20th level fighter using the system, and every time you take an attack, you take a 5-foot step. So your fighter can have 35 feet worth of movement on top of all their attacks, which is awesome. That is awesome. That is what that's what the samurai used to get in 3rd edition, like at 15th level or something like that. Every time they made an attack, they could take a 5-foot step. That class was so sick. I love that. Step is like a gotta have it mastery. It's just, if you're a mobility character, it's just good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, anyway, I'm geeking out about it. Damage types as powers. So here's the damage types. There's basic damage types, which you gain at 1st level, and there's advanced damage types, which you gain at 5th level. And of course, at 6th level, Magic Kinsei weapon is 6th level, so you have access to all the advanced damage types. Basically, if you choose to learn force damage, you don't have to spend any mana. You're just always dealing force damage. It's as though you had a magic sword. We're all pretty convinced that when 1D&D comes out in 2024, they're doing away with magic weapon damage, and instead, anytime that you have a magical effect on you, you're going to deal force damage. So force becomes the assumed automatic magic damage that weapons will deal. It'll just be force damage. Or for a twist of flavor, it could be radiant damage or psychic damage or radiant damage. Way ahead of you, wizards. Thanks for being on board in the modern day. So these are things that you can just gain. You can pick one for free at 6th level. And where are we at for elements? Let's get back on. Yep, this is supposed to be up here. Oh, I see. I got dizzy as to where I was exactly. Right. That happens sometimes. Zip. Keep this on page for reference. This is where we're supposed to be at. Poison on Death, Magic Kinsei weapon. You gain 1 magic damage type of your choice from any basic or advanced damage types as listed in the power section below. Bam. There you go. So pick one. You can always deal that damage. And I think every time in the future, when we gain magic weapon again, or when we gain Kinsei's weapon, I think will allow you to add on another damage type. That feels fair. So we took care of Magic Kinsei weapon. 1 with the blade. No, it's 1 with the blade, not way with the blade. Of course, silly me. 1 with the blade. Magic Kinsei weapon. And then Kinsei weapon. Again, of course. You gain 2 weapon damage types of your choice from any basic or advanced damage. from you gain 2 weapon damage types of your choice from the let's see, you gain 2 weapon damage types of your choice listed in the power section below. 1 basic and 1 advanced type. There. And then as we gain weapons in the future, we can keep tacking on additional damage effects. So you have a wider and wider array of damage types that you can deal to fit and match the scenario. You can change these types of damage when you gain a new level. 1 basic and 1 advanced. That's redundant, but we hire editors to make it word smart. Hey, that took care of one other blade. That was easy. I mean, okay. What else we got? Oh, there's oh, you're right. There's Death Strike. Death Strike. Is that right? Yeah. Death Strike. We got to make something out of Death Strike. What are we gonna do with that? When you hit a target with a Kinsei weapon, we're making shit up, so we're having to think about it a little bit. It's kind of fun. Honestly, I love doing this stuff. It's a lot of fun. Death Strike. When you hit a target with a Kinsei weapon, you can spend 1 point of ki to do something that everyone can already fucking do anyway. 1 ki equals 1 extra point, and they cap you at once per round and only 1 point of ki. God, we don't want to take the reins off of the monk too much. Better keep that guy in check. Oh, Borb. Redonkulous. How do I want to convert this though? We're giving you some Death Strike. What does that mean? Death Strike. When you hit a target, man, I got the Haganaga going on. Sorry, Holmeses. Death Strike. When you hit a target with a Kinsei weapon, you can spend 1 ki. Okay, we know that's totally irrelevant. They want you to spend ki to do something cool. Death Strike. Okay, let's challenge the system. Define deft. Neatly skillful and quick in one's movement. Demonstrating skill and cleverness. Cleverness, huh? Thank you. Change. Death Strike, I'm thinking... Let's go look at our power list, because I think we already have something that basically exchanges a point of mana for... Yeah, it's like an attack roll, like advantage on your attack roll and... advantage and a power die to your attack roll, I believe, already exists as a first rank exploit. Let's see. Where's it second rank? And after we get this done, then we get to pick out their list of powers that they know on top of all this. Sick. Hey, timely timer. Synergy, precise attack, 2 mana. You can make an attack roll with advantage and roll 1 power die per mana channeled, adding the highest roll to your result. That's pretty good. What about 1 mana? Everything cool in here? Resilient, range strike. Do I really not have anything here, or just like flat advantage? Oh my god, that's amazing. I'm actually really great with that. Hold on. I don't want to get too caught up. Let's wait for it. I love having gaps in the system like this because it's perfect opportunities like this. Nope, yep, there it is. All right, so it's a second rank power for you to gain advantage and to deal 1 power die, but this is just going to be Death Strike. You can spend 1 point of mana as an exploit to gain advantage and make and roll an additional power die. No, and add a power die to your attack roll, period. And then if you want to be able to dump in more mana, then you have a reason to pick up whatever it was called, Precise Strike. So this is just a little cheapy 1 mana bit. You can already pick up the 5th rank for untapped, like in any amount of mana that you want. This is 1 mana, so it's basically downcasting the spell for free. So that's pretty slick. I'm actually really into that. I think that's pretty cool. All right, cool. So I'm really happy there. Let's look at Sharpen the Blade. Let's see. Sharpen the Blade, 11th level. You gain the ability to augment your weapon further with Ki. As a bonus action, you can spend up to 3 key points to grant 1 Kinsei weapon. You touch a bonus. Ooh! To attack and damage rolls. When you attack with it, the bonus equals the number of key points you spent. This bonus lasts for 1 minute or until you use this feature again. This feature has no effect on a magic weapon that already has a bonus to attack and damage rolls. I love that. Okay, Sharpen the Blade is a fucking winner. As a bonus action, you can expend up to 3 key points to grant 1 Kinsei weapon you touch. Nope. Let's do it like this. Let's go. With your power. As a bonus action, as a sustained effect, you can tap or lock up to 3 2 mana to gain. Hold on. Nope, 1 mana. I have a power here. I know we have like dire strikes, something like that. Let's take a look at that. Let's go down to our sustained powers. I know we have something here. Dire Impact. While sustaining this power for 1 mana, Weapon attacks are magic, and you can add your proficiency bonus to your weapon damage rolls. Add your proficiency bonus to your weapon damage rolls. You can add a bonus to your weapon damage rolls equal to your max rank of power. Full casters, spellcasters don't gain ranks of power unless they're half casters. Full casters like clerics, wizards, sorcerers never gain any ranks of power. Fuck off. Not for you. Spellsinger, Spellblade, or whatever that is. No, 0. All you get are your spells. Enjoy concentrating on your effects. Love it. Okay, so Dire Impact is 1 mana equals your max rank of power for damage rolls, which is going to be up to 5 damage for 1 mana. Instead, so this is perfect. As a sustained effect, you can tap or lock 1 mana to gain a bonus to attack and damage rolls to gain a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls when you attack with it. The bonus equals the number of key points you spent. This bonus lasts, we can ignore that. A weapon you are proficient with. Oof. This feature has no effect on a magic. This feature has no effect on a magic weapon that already has a bonus to attack and damage rolls. There you go. As a sustained effect, you tap or lock 1 mana to gain a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls when you attack with a weapon, attack and damage rolls with a weapon you are proficient with. This feature has no effect on a magic weapon that already has a bonus to attack and damage rolls. Yeah, I'm really, really good with that. Sharpen the blade. There we go. That's how we make the donuts. And then here, is there any commentary I missed? Hold on. Fuck you. You don't need anything extra there. Nah, we're good. And then let's see, what's your last bit up here, buddy? Unerring accurate. And this is just redundant. It's you gain another Kinsei weapon, which is completely irrelevant in our world. So sharpen the blade. There you go. Unerring accuracy. Ooh, unerring. 17th level. This is probably going to be incredibly underwhelming. But let's see. Let's hope for a post Thanksgiving Day miracle. Good luck, guys. Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Kinsei weapon. When you reach 17th level in this class, you can choose another type of weapon, either melee or ranged, to be a Kinsei. Oh my god, what? Wait, no, that's just the Kinsei weapon. Fuck off. Get out of here. So, unerring accuracy, you're Your 17th level, your mastery of weapons grants you extraordinary accuracy. If you miss with an attack roll using a monk weapon on your turn, you can re-roll it. Oh my god. That's great. If you miss with an attack roll using a weapon on your turn, you can re-roll it. You can use this feature only once on each of your turns. Yeah, I'm good with that. Actually, yeah, I'm great with this. No changes. Period. There you go. Hey, we finished the kit of powers for the Kensei. Or we finished translating the features of the Kensei. And it's 12:45. Holy Hannah, these things take time, man. What a pain in the ass. It's a good thing I've got almost all of them done. We got all of Barbarian done. We got all of Rogue done. We've got all of Fighter done. We just swept through the Paladin, and we're good with that. We're almost done. We've got 3 more after this for the Monk. And about 3 months ago, we swept through the Ranger. But I think it would be fun to sweep through Ranger one more time. Rangers don't get free kits of power. They get spells with their class. And currently, their half-casters are still more spellcaster. They can just learn powers instead of spells and have a couple of features, power features using this, but still mostly lean on using spells because they're half-casters. So there is this, they happen to gain ranks of power as well as spellcasting levels at the same time. So a half-casting class like the Ranger, Paladin, Artificer, they're accumulating caster levels that can combine with a full caster to gain further higher levels of spell casting, but the Paladin and the Ranger are also gaining ranks of power that can really take advantage of the vast mana pool that full casters get. Or they can really lean into having powers multi-classing off of like a fighter or a barbarian to gain access to really deep levels of power and a lot of kicker effects to really make the most out of their mana pool. And they get a little crossover no matter what. So the Ranger, when I'm looking at the Ranger, all I'm looking at are what are their class features, just like we did here. What are the class feature changes that happen, and how should we modify them to work with the power system? And we don't have to build out a kit of known powers for the Ranger, or the Paladin, or the Artificer. So, but that's where we're at right now. So we're going to then go back up into here for the power list, and I'm going to copy paste all of this that we just built out. So we have it on reference, so it's easy for us to look at. So we have 10 powers that we need to pick up. Normally, our recommendation for very low levels, like at 3rd level when you don't have a lot of mana, our normal recommendation is just buy a bunch of feats and free damage types and combat masteries. These are things that don't cost any mana to use, and until your caveats and your mana cheats, until your mana cheat systems come online, like at 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 7th level, pick up all this free stuff so you aren't burning through your mana very quickly. You have other things to do other than spend mana. Like in your first 3 levels, you're going to have 4 known powers. Most fighter types can get all of their core combat feats resolved just off of powers and save all of their ASI to actually increase their stats, just like a full caster could, because all of your combat shit's coming off of your known list, right? And you're going to get a bonus list of powers to give you a bunch of stuff already. So when we give you a batch of powers here, let's go back here just to prove the point. Savage Attacker feat, Defensive Duelist feat, Crouching Stance sustained at 5th level. It's a 1st rank power, sustained. Let's go up here and look at the Way of the Astral Self, Subtle Channeling, 1st rank exploit, Mobile feat, Radiant Strike, 1st rank strike at 5th level. Very inexpensive stuff. Just one more. Mobile as a feat, Alert as a feat for the Ascended Dragon. Lycanthropy, taking on a Draconic Visage only at 5th level, is a 1st rank sustained power. Oh my god, I skipped one. We'll have to go back and find that. Here, I'm gonna make a note here. Here's another power. Oh no, it doesn't. Hold on. Let's just give him Dire. What was it called? Dire Strike? Dire Attack? The Dire. Dire Impact. There you go. Dire impact. +1. Again, it doesn't, you can lock sustained powers and they don't block your channels. So like a monk can gain access to sustained powers as early as 3rd level, because at 3rd level, you're no longer locking. So that's, oh God, that curves out so nicely. Yeah, but mobile, alert, these are all like, these don't take away, and like once you lock it, you don't have to spend mana on it again unless the DM goes out of his way to hit you with a dispel, which is unlikely before 6th level, just because of the kind of stuff that you fight. Or you go unconscious, in which case, great, you lost your mana. That's a great penalty for getting killed, or you know, if you die. There you go. So Bob has become your uncle. Let's do that. So way of the Kinsei. So we have feats, we have sustained powers, combat masteries, and damage types. So getting damage types for free by 6th level. So if you learn any early on, you can swap it out later. So let's just I had a thought. What was it? Get Cliff Runner for free. Oh, that's what it was. Combat Mastery. One of the Combat Masteries. Step. That's such a great Kinsei ability. Step. That's a mastery. And this should be, since grappling's free, well, they're already gonna make a grappling check to end the grapple. The way that it seems one D&D is going to do is I do the grapple, and I use my action. You're automatically grappled. The target now has to make a saving throw to end the grapple. If I hit, I grapple. I can then force the target to end. That's redundant. I just said that. So in this case, it would be target grappled as part of the attack. In addition to taking damage, period. Cannot use weapon while grappled this way. Let's see. Yeah, step is really good. Is there a feat that we think that the Kinsei should pick up? I think Revenant Blade is a really great choice because they could go that path. Polearm Master, great Kinsei stuff, but it's not iconic specifically to them. I don't think any of this stuff specifically keys to them. So I think we should just take advantage of the fact that you can lock mana and still channel and get access to a low. Blind Sense isn't bad. That's got that. When you channel this feature, you gain the following abilities. You can crawl, stand, crouching stance isn't quite right. Fast, inspired skill, like Lycanthropy, Omnilinguist, Power Armor, Power Shield, Ranged Skirmisher. While sustaining this power, you gain the following benefits. Strikes can be channeled when you hit a target with a thrown weapon at far range. You can pick that up if you want it. You don't necessarily do ranged stuff, although you can. Not necessarily. Rogue Stance, you get it for free already, so you don't need to spend any mana to have it. Swift Assessment, not so much. Trap Springer, not so much. Saving Grace, when sustaining this power, you have advantage on saving throws with one ability of your choice. Timely Timer. You can channel this power more than once, simultaneously choosing a different ability score with each channeling. On saving throws, that's such a great, that's so great. I love that. But a lot of these just aren't. Fast is kind of redundant. It's not specifically like Kinsei. Dire, I gotta say, Dire Impact seems to be, yeah, I think Dire Impact's the one to go. So I just gave it to the Ascended Dragon, but Dire Impact, you're a winner. Sus one. Capping off the rest of my coffee from this morning. Cool. So 5th level, we now have access to 2nd rank powers, though we do not have to take 2nd rank powers, but we can. So, is there any cool sustained powers that we think is particularly sensei-ish? And again, anyone that's checking this out, either here live stream that's quiet or after the fact, you can click on the playtest content and early looks here. And it'll take you to my Patreon. You do not need to be a Patreon, though I would certainly love to have your support at the cost of $1 or more per month. That'd be wonderful. Scroll down to the playtest content for martial powers. YouTube stream here. Hey guys. And then here's the martial powers. This is a read-only document that pops open, which is what we've been looking at this entire time. The full 81-page document is available for you to read only. Go ahead and bookmark it. When the book publishes, that link that I have in my on my Patreon, that will lead you to the Martial Powers book on DMsGuild, which will have a full preview, so it's the same difference, but it will be the official document with the official language, and we'll destroy this and get rid of this since the playtesting content is no longer necessary. So once the editor gives it back to us, we basically take down the content and it goes into the creation process for release on DMsGuild, as per rules of the DMsGuild. We can't publish DMsGuild content language using that language on the DMsGuild. I can have a playtest document with garbage language for people to poke at and playtest with, but once I hire an editor and get the official natural language cleaned up 5e version of it, that becomes DMsGuild only as part of the contract of me doing stuff through DMsGuild. So we're staying transparent and street legal. All important. So let's go check out if there's any cool 2nd rank powers that feel very Kinsei. Advantage, castigate, challenge power, choose a creature you can see. You always know their direction. Nah, not close quarter, not cloud. Deadly presence. When your follower, when this power is sustained, you're not restrained, stunned, paralyzed, or incapacitated. Any creature that you can see that begins its turn or moves within reach of your melee attack gains 1 power die of damage per mana sustained. Giant growth is awesome, but not specifically Kinsei-ish. See, there's a shitload of gaps in here that will eventually be super cool to fill up with little niche ideas. I've intentionally left it kind of sparse and open-ended for people to think, well, I could build a thing there. Yeah, you can. And if you stick around long enough, I'll probably build it too with you. Quick. While sustaining this power, you gain a bit. Nah. Strange metabolism? Nah. Sturdy? Nah. Unnatural resistance? Not particularly. Weapon resistance? Not particularly. But opportunist is pretty sick. While this power is sustained, you can take the attack when you take the attack action, you can forgo any number of attacks during your turn to gain an equal number of additional opportunity attacks, limited to 1 per turn, including your own. That can be used before your next turn. Keep in mind, if you exchange your attack action for a bunch of opportunity attacks, you can't forego other opportunity attacks during your attack action to gain free mana when you hit, because you are casting aside your opportunity attacks. When you take the attack action, you can forgo any number. So if you have 3 attacks during your attack action, if you hit with the first attack, you could say exchange one of your attacks to gain a free point of mana and do, like, say, a goading strike for free, and then forgo your 3rd attack to gain an extra opportunity attack that turn, which is a little risky, but it's something you could do. So if you're standing if you're standing tall against an oncoming horde, and you've got 4 attacks because you're a 20th level fighter. If you took opportunist, you could change all 4 of those attacks to be 4 opportunity attacks, so you could bat away. Like you use Thundering Strike to punt away from you using mana. People that come in, you push them away and you damage them. They come in, you push them away. Super fun. So I think opportunist is a great one. Opportunist. That feels incredibly Kinsei to me. Sus 2, and since it's the Kinsei, locking both of those ranks doesn't take away from your ability to do anything else, except for sustain other things, of course. But that leaves us an open point, an open thing to learn. So now keep in mind, opportunists can only do opportunity attacks, but a lot of the reactions that we have in here are considered to be opportunity attacks. Like deflection, as a reaction to when you or an ally within reach of a melee attack are hit by an attack roll from a source you can see, the attack is rerolled, taking the new result. This reroll this new reroll cannot score a critical hit. This reaction is considered an opportunity attack. So if I use Shocking Strike against you, could not deflect a strike because I've disabled your opportunity attacks this round. So Shocking Strike now becomes a much more useful thing because so many of these reactions are considered opportunity attacks. We're weaving that language together to create a broader set of mechanical skills that characters can bring. We'll see if Wizards is following my lead in 1D&D in 2024 or not, but this is a great opportunity, pardon the pun, this is a great opportunity for Wizards to really up the mechanical complexity and decision making that martial characters can make if they lean in this direction. But I think that's a deeper level of mechanical decision making than Wizards wants to make a basic fighter class. So I don't think they're going to get it. But fuck, that's sick. That's so fun. So, but yeah, deflection. I don't know if deflection is specifically Kinsei. It's a great bodyguard warden sort of thing. And you get controlled fall for free as a monk as it is, so you don't really need that. Curse of Exposure? No, that's more of a blood magic. We took all the blood magic stuff, we put it in here, so you could play a blood hunter if you want to do it. Everything for the blood hunters are in here in one capacity or another. Let's see. Ooh, feint. As a reaction to when you miss an attack roll, you can re-roll. You can roll again, potentially turning the miss into a hit. You get one of those for free with Unerring Weapon at 17th level, but feint, that's not bad. We really need to make sure that fucking thing sticks. It's pretty useful, so we'll give it to him. Feint, exploit 1, right? Yeah. You got 5 mana plus 2 every time you roll initiative, so that's reasonable. I like that. And now we're at 9th, which is 3rd rank, so we're automatically going to go back and take a look at the different sustained powers that were there. And again, we're looking for things that really feel like what a Kinsei would be able to do. Like Opportunist is a really great sustained power that most people are going to want to pick up just for the flexibility. But for the Kinsei in particular, it just feels like something that a weapon master would be able to do. So we want to give it to them. Most of these subclasses we don't give Opportunist because it's such an obvious pick for like a 9th or 10th level character. It's like, yeah, I'm going to pick up Opportunist. That's fucking awesome. But for the Kinsei, that's how dope they are. They get it for free. I love that. So, okay, we're here, but there's not a lot of 3rd or 4th rank powers, right? Oh, Celerity? Oh. Well, you get Flurry of Attacks for free as a monk, right? So that's awesome. While sustaining this power, attack rolls made against you are made with disadvantage, and when you are the only target of an effect that requires you to make a saving throw, roll with advantage. Daunting Presence is such a great... It's expensive as hell, but it's a great power. God, that's a great power. I like Celerity, but it doesn't like unnatural. Like if we were making a Boros Swiftblade, Celerity 100% automatically gain it lock. But we're not making a Boros Swiftblade, we're making a Kinsei. So that none of these feel right. And we already looked through all of these. It's like such a limited palette of sustained powers that we have here. It's like it's begging for more stuff, which is going to be the first comment I'm sure we're going to get off of this. Need more sustained powers. Like, just you wait. That Boros Swiftblade is coming, buddy. You just wait for him to arrive. Sick. So we already just picked out a reaction. So what do we have so far? We have a mastery. We have sustained powers. We have an exploit. We should pick up a reaction now, I think. We have access to third rank shit. Let's go see if there's a cool reaction that we want to grab. Reactions. Defense barrier, create a momentary translucent barrier. That's like a kineticist, not a Kinsei. Hexproof, not a Kinsei. Anchor, prevent things from teleporting or moving, not a Kinsei. Redirect, as a reaction when a creature you can see hits another creature with an attack, you can redirect the attack. To target another creature you can see within 30 feet, even if the attacking creature would not normally be able to do so. If the same attack roll hits the new target, they take any damage and are subjected to the additional effect from that. Even if the attacking creature would not normally be able to do so. This is considered an opportunity attack. Isn't that sick? If you dumped all of your attack actions to redirecting attacks, it'd be expensive to trigger all that stuff. It's 2 mana a pop. No. Yeah, it's 2 mana a pop. So that's expensive. But what a sick effect to be able to shield your ward from taking any damage. Oh, I love that. Love that. So cool. One's own luck. When you roll power dice, you can re-roll and keep the higher result. Moving targets, not specifically Kinsei. Countering attack, not specifically Kinsei. Parry, as a reaction to when another creature you can see damages you with a melee attack, you can roll 1 power die per mana burned, reducing the damage by the combined result. This is considered an opportunity attack. Is that the language that we're using? This is considered an opportunity attack. There you go. Punish. As a reaction, that's the language I was using. You can make an opportunity attack, adding yeah. As a reaction to when another creature you see damages you with a melee attack, you can make an opportunity attack, rolling 1 power die. That's how I should do it. You can make an opportunity attack roll 1 power die per mana burn. Oh no, we can't do that specifically. This is considered an opportunity attack. There we go. That's a proper link. We're gonna have to look at everything involving opportunity attacks because maybe we should be wording it as this can replace an opportunity attack. There we go. I think that's what we should be using. I think that's probably pretty good language there. Use this language for OA options. Nice. Okay. Because we're still developing here. We're making stuff up. Parry's actually a really good one. All right, parry. Reaction 1. See, at 9th level, we're gaining first rank reactions. That just makes sense to know. Hey, look at that. You have opportunist at 5th. Hey, look, you picked up parry, which lets you use opportunity attacks to reduce damage. Doesn't that just make a ton of sense? Like, it has its own little power list, is building its own story about what the narrative of your character becomes. Love that. So cool. We didn't see any sustained powers. We haven't picked up any strikes yet, and We haven't picked up any maneuvers yet either. Let's go play with maneuvers. Maneuvers can be channeled instead of cast. Can be channeled as actions or bonus actions, and you can channel the same one twice in the same round. And this is also incredibly limited. Like, that's going to be, it's like, wow, these are cool, but it's so limited. It's like, great. Wait until you see the Book of Dimir and the Book of Boros. The book, like, it could be the Book of Black Mana. Oh, also the Book of Black Magic. Black Magic Power. Have a whole list of powers that are added on in each of the 5 disciplines that are very black in theme, like sacrifice, hit dice, deal extra damage type of stuff. Oh my god, that's sick. Hold on real quick. That is sick. Where is it? Scrapped ideas. And these are different new ideas. Book of Black Magic. Big skull cover pick. Add a kit of powers from all 5 disciplines that are black mana. You can sacrifice hit dice to trigger effects, OAs. Is there potential for a different book of power themed around each color of mana with their own mechanics? This is what the new ideas section is all about, my dudes. Because that's shit that we can explore once all 13 classes use the same color. Then we can start looking at, like, you're a black sorcerer. What can you do with that black power that no one else can? Oh, that's so cool. So cool. Here's just a bunch of shit that we got going on down here. Rogue ideas, things that we can explore in the future. We scrapped. These were like martial power. Like, if you don't allow characters to have alternate subclasses, like here is the martial champion, which is like the most subclassy subclass that ever subclassed as a fighter. But we ditched it initially. We might add it on as maybe like a compendium or an appendix in case you don't want characters using any of this shit. Here's an alternate idea, or like here's a generic thing that you can tack on to any NPC you want to call a martial champion to fight characters with, and we could build one out for each of them, like a rogue champ, like a martial rogue archetype or martial barbarian archetype, like generic archetype for NPCs. That's kind of the idea, but I have it crossed out right now because it's still in the cooker. So actually, you know what? Now that we're thinking about it, it's not really a scrapped idea, is it? Alternate single subclass option for appendices for appendix. And let's remove all of that. Where is my edit? No. Insert format. Thank you. Format text. Format text. Strike through. Format text. Can we remove strike through now, please? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, let's just jump that over to another page. To do. Anyway, I just wanted to throw down that idea because we're still having ideas. We're still making. Oh yeah. Hold on. Take a sip of water here. Where are we at? It's only 1:15. We're doing great. Ka-jung! So cool. Let's see. Where are we? Oh yeah. Let's take this guy back up to the root. Now, let's see. What else? So we have a reaction, exploit. Oh yeah, we're gonna look at maneuvers. Right. Oh, maneuvers. So cool. Let's see if there's anything cool in here we want to scoop up. Again, maneuvers can be used as actions or bonus actions. You can use the same maneuver or multiple maneuvers during your turn. If you have like action surge, you can do 3 of them, obviously. Beguiling trance. You can target a creature that can see you. That can also see. Make a wisdom saving throw. It's charmed and incapacitated until it's basically a sleep spell. Coordinated attack. No. Fighting, no. Goad. No, meh. Goad. Nah. Rally. Restraining hold. So it's attunement. While grappling, you can deal 1 power die of damage. I love that grappling. That's awesome. But no. You get double strike for free. Oh, make 2 weapon attacks with advantage. Yeah, it's an exploit. Yeah, you get that for free as a monk. Distract, no. Phase, no. Pact tactics, no. Regeneration, no. Shunt, no. Lift, no. Boy, harder than I thought. Yeah, all this stuff is like super supernatural stuff. Like the closest stuff to like psionic type stuff. This is more like psionic power than like martial power, you know? But that's the direction that we wanted to go in. We can use this system for psionics to create alternate effects that channel psionic power instead of spellcasting. So we can lean into, like, once we go into the book of psionics, we'll be able to really lean into a shitload of different type of maneuvers that would then become psionic powers as maneuvers. You see how that's working out? Sweet. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything specifically here that really just jumps out as this is Kinsei. So nope, let's go back into the exploits then, since we're rotating through stuff. And we're already up to 3rd rank, so what you got? Empowered synergy. When you use a bonus action to channel a maneuver, you can make a weapon attack as part of the bonus action. This attack can be made at the beginning, end, or during the empowered maneuver. Whatever. That's not on point. It's cool, but it's not specifically under focus. When making an ability check that can use the intimidation skill or while rolling to determine if you maintain concentration. Irrelevant because monk. Goodbye. Tactical assessment. When making an ability check that can use history, insight, or an investigation skill, add 1 power die per mana channeled, adding the highest. That's not horrible, but it's 9th level, so. Making a saving throw, you can roll 1 power die. Nah, that's not specifically Kinsei, you know. Overrun, Master Burglar, Inquisitive, Gymnast, Ground Fighting, Gifted Artisan, Field Medic. Ooh, when you move, you can burn 1 or more power die, adding the highest result to your armor class. That's not bad. Bait and switch when you're within 5 feet. Oh no, that's a defensive thing. Yeah, switch places with an ally. Evasive, yeah, let's do it. Evasive footwork. At this level, every time you roll initiative, you're going to get back 3 mana no matter what. So I mean, that's not bad. Still dealing with my own mess. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, Zona? I was watching a video from Dice Draw and noticed you're... Yeah, I am. And it made me wonder, did you ever consider colorless? Oh, what, colorless mana? No. Because, well... the way that the mana system works, like if you're going to use a third rank, like if you're going to cast Fireball, it's a third level spell, it's a red spell. All you have to do is spend 1 point of mana, and the other 2 points can be any color that you want, which is almost the same as, like, the rest of the mana requires colorless, so to say, and that doesn't care what color it is. But I'm not particularly interested in having a colorless mana category. Rather, it would just be something that's like, it doesn't matter what color mana you use, it does blah, blah, blah. But I wouldn't specifically create a set of things like artifacts in the color mana spell point variant rule book. Here, let's go look at it real quick. Since you're asking, let's go take a gander. So let's go down here to 5-point mana spell point variant rule system, and this whole thing's going to get reformatted once 2024 comes out. But for the time being, let's see. Let's go to magic items. Let's go with a cool one. The Manatech Blasting Staff. There you go. This staff can be wielded as a magical heavy crossbow +2 without the ammunition property. While holding the staff, you gain the benefits from the crossbow expert feat. The damage dealt by the staff is different based on the manufacturer's specifications. Each staff deals only one of the following types of damage: piercing, fire, force, lightning, necrotic, or radiant. Chosen when the staff is created. Overcharge. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack from the Manatech Blasting Staff, you may burn mana of any color up to maximum of 5 mana. Doing so increases the damage dealt by 1d6 for each point of mana burned this way. See, the Manatech Blasting Staff is technically a colorless mana artifact item, right? Because you can burn any color, it doesn't matter. But here we have the Guardian Staff, legendary item. Here's the illustration of the staff here. You can see the guy's wielding the shield and using the staff. So, Abjurant Resonance. As a bonus action, you may tap white mana up to a maximum of 5. When you do, you gain +1 bonus to AC for every white mana tapped using Abjurant Resonance. This is a simple magic effect that counts towards your max spell limit. A simple magic effect means that when you tap it, when you're done using it, you can untap it and you don't burn any mana. So you can tap to act, but you still have to pay attention to your max tap limit. So you could, like a paladin that doesn't have any aura as an effect or maintaining concentration on anything, could choose to tap 5 white mana to boost armor class by +5. And then, assuming he's able to maintain concentration on that stuff during the barrage of attacks that he takes, you could choose to untap that mana, put it back in your mana pool. But in this instance, it's specifically asking for white mana. The Guardian Staff is a white mana object, while the Blasting Staff is a colorless artifact item. So that's the only way in which I actually use colorless in this system. So, assuming that you're using color mana. So, hopefully that answers your question and provides a little insight as to why I went in that direction. But I'm not really considering colorless to be a character color option. Like, characters are bound by the laws of magic, like Eldrazi and other eldritch horrors that exist beyond the now that are in the far realms. They can manipulate color and fuck around with stuff like that too. So yeah. But they're artifacts, right? Because they're magic items. That's the most traditionally appropriate place to have it. I can see in the future maybe evolving that direction, but I wouldn't categorize it as its own thing. It would just be use whatever mana you want. We don't care. So Yeah. Because the DM doesn't have to fuck around with what color they're using. You can just describe it or not. And then the players are like, he's not using any color of mana. I don't understand. Because when you're using magic or powers in the game, you're literally seeing the colors that the magic is woven out of. Oh, that's a red magic effect. I can see the strands of red magic being woven in with blue. He's using a blend of magical color effect to do this thing. It's like, what's that guy doing? I don't see any color on him. What the fuck are we dealing with? So I was actually, when I originally created the system, I was playing with the idea of Key being colorless. But then when they started developing all that stuff, I was like, nah, it makes sense that he has color too. Like Prismari and stuff like that, it made a lot of sense for monks to be able to express themselves as colored. But yeah, I was originally looking at them as being colorless, but the design curve moved away from that eventually. But yeah, that's a great question. Yeah. So we picked up evasive footwork. We're now at 13th level, so we're looking. Let's again go to sustained powers to see if there's anything at 4th rank that we think are cool that seem appropriate for the Kinsei. It looks like we're only doing Kinsei today, guys. These things take so long to do. Thanks for sticking around. But yeah, we got another half hour. So thanks for showing up, Zona. Let's see. Indestructible, Master of Fate, Frenzied Attack. It doesn't say Kinsei specifically to me. Kinsei feels more like steady, like Frenzied's like a very red chaotic effect. Where I can see, I mean, you could flavor it any way that you want, but I'm looking for things that are like core Kinsei that all Kinseis should have, whether you think it's worth paying for or not, because we're giving it to you for free. So ideally, we're finding weird off-brand stuff, but occasional good goodies that make it worth your while. So while sustaining this power, you gain 1 additional attack when you take the attack action, which of course with Opportunist could be converted to an additional opportunity attack. So there is merit there, but you can't stack Frenzied Attack with Opportunist because Opportunist is 2nd rank and Frenzied Attack is 4th rank. That's a total of 6 ranks, which is beyond your maximum capacity unless you decide to pick up Efficient Power, which is a new feat, which you could purchase with your powers if you wanted to. Efficient Power, to remind those that aren't indoctrinated already, it's repeatable, it's a feat, it requires a channeling class feature. Choose a power that you've learned of 2nd rank or higher. Reduce the rank and amount of mana to channel the power by 1. This doesn't affect any kicker costs. And if you swap out that power, you also have to swap out efficient power that goes with it. But you can swap all your powers at every level anyway, so who cares? So, if you took both Frenzied Attacks and Opportunist and applied efficient power to both of them, that would drop Opportunist Attack to 1, and that would drop Frenzied Attack to 3, so you could have them both or 4 and still have a point of mana open for you to sustain something else. That's actually really sick. And you gain advantage on all attack rolls. Like, that's super expensive. But you don't gain it until 13th level anyway, so it's super fucking sweet. A rogue would love to have this. It is expensive for a rogue to maintain it because they don't have crap for mana outside of their own pools. Outside of sneak attacks in their own pool. They don't have a lot. So this would be expensive for them, but it would guarantee they'd have sneak attack all the time, which is actually really, like a rogue picking that up at 13th level would be really great. Which I'm totally fine with. I've not had a problem with our rogue having sneak attack with opportunity every attack. It's worked out great, honestly, and he's really he's happy as a clam. God, I'm really tempted to add that in. Okay. And of course, the monk, when you lock a sustained power as a monk, it doesn't block your channel, so you can still channel all of your mana and still have 5 sustained effects and lock them all so you don't have to maintain concentration. Because monks are just gods of sustaining auras on themselves. I love these guys. It's so cool. That leaves open. We don't have any strikes on the board yet. Let's go find a strike. And at 4th rank, you have access to all strikes. So let's see if there's something particularly tasty that feels super good for Kinsei. Debilitating Strike. Your damage deals 1 power die of damage burn, and the target cannot move, take actions, or opportunity attacks. Trigger can attempt. Nah, stunning strike's better. Delusional strike, not particularly. Restraining strike, not really. Provoking strike, not particularly. None of these are really just screaming, I'm a Kinsei. Yeah, absolutely none of these. Not a single strike just says I'm a Kinsei. But feats are cool. I mean, reactions are cool. We've gone through a lot of reactions already. Moving target at this point might be fun to pick up as a reaction to when a target, when a creature you can see moves into or within the reach of your weapon, within reach of your melee weapon, you can make an opportunity attack even if the target is using the disengage action or the movement is forced. Rolling 1 power die per mana, adding the highest result to your attack roll. God, moving target is so great to pick up. Yes. Reaction. No, that's an exploit, isn't it? Exploit 2? Nope, it's reaction. Wait. As a reaction, make it, yeah, you can make an opportunity attack. So it's treated as an opportunity attack. That's perfect. Yes, moving target. Fucking choice. And that's second rank, which you could buy down to 1, so it only costs you 1 mana to use it. Which is awesome if you got, like, if your friend uses Thundering Strike and punts the target 40 feet across your weapon, you can take an opportunity attack to hit him on the way by, and you can trip him while he's en route, so you guys could team up together. You only spend 1 point of mana to punt that guy, and then your friend using moving target can spend a point of mana and then an extra point for the tripping, or could use a combat maneuver to use the trip, so the target moves and is tripped in the process. God, that's awesome. Like teaming up and coordinating your attacks, so cool. Sorry, I get a little choked up. I just love this stuff. It's as complicated as you want it to get, like super deep tactical as shit. Or it can be just like, I just want a ton of feats. I don't want any of this garbage. Just give me a bunch of feats. Like, cool. Cool. Don't use any of this free stuff if you don't want. Just take a bunch of feats and lock all your shit down. That's awesome. Love it. Just love encountering attack. No, that's a counter spell thing. We already have. I'm thinking like just a bunch of reactions at this point. Does that feel like super Kinsei? Let's see if there's any exploits again real quick, because we know the maneuvers are like too supernatural for the Kinsei. Bait and switch, charge. When you take a move action, you can this is an exploit, so it doesn't require anything. It's just when you move, spend the point of mana. You can channel this power to prevent triggering opportunity attacks due to your movement. The first attack you make during this movement can roll 1 power die per mana channeled, adding the highest result. Oh, that's not horrible. But as a bonus action, this is a move action though. Nah, it's not specifically Kinsei. We'll skip that. Ooh, extended attack. When you make a melee attack with a weapon, your reach increases by 5 feet. Additionally, you can roll 1 power die per mana channeled, adding the highest result. That's actually excellent. Extended attack. Exploit. And of course, that means that Frenzied Attack needs to move back to 17th level, because gorgeous. Yeah, let's move. Let's just punt this whole. Let's punt this whole rack back, and let's take this and pull it forward. Because I mean, you can pick up Frenzied Attack anytime you want, and by 17th level you get it for free. So that's the accrual of power. It's like you've had access to this since 13th level, but at 17th level you get it for free. So I mean, that's cool. It's actually really nice. Evasive footwork. I think we already have that. Ground fighting, gifted artisan. Gifted artisan. Artisan tools or musical instruments. That's so cheeky. Let's do it. let's do that. Let's let's push Opportunist back to 13th level. There we go. That is our timer. So I think we're just about to hit our deadline, and we'll go with Gifted Artisan. And what does that do? Gifted Artisan, when making an ability check that can use the performance skill artisan tools like your calligraphy tools kit, or a musical instrument, roll 1 power die per mana channel, adding the highest die to your result. And of course, Opportunist, punching that back to 13th level feels good. Look at that, free 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. Let's do this instead. I don't know the proper order to put these in yet. We'll figure that out as we go. Bam, frenzied attack. There you go. God damn, that way the Kinsei is sick. Oh God, that's sick. Man, I really, really like this. All right. That's it. I technically have a little bit of time I could burn, but I mean, we got to the end of it. So there's the Way of the Long Death. We saw Long Death, Open Hand, Sun Soul. Let's since we got 20 minutes, right? Let's So I'll have a break from 2, and then at 3 o'clock I'm going to jump back in, and we're going to do Eberron creature token art for a couple hours, and then my day will be over, and then we'll be back tomorrow morning to do the book cover commission. We'll continue that work. So, but we just knocked down. So we still have, what do we still have to do? We have the Way of the Sun Soul, Way of the Open Hand, and Way of the Long Death. So we got 3 more to go. And given how long it takes us to build these things, that's probably going to mean 3 more sessions. I've got a Monday session, a Tuesday session, and then I think Friday next week we're going to do more Eldraine, Wild Up Eldraine creature conversions. So Monday, Tuesday, and then maybe we'll do Friday this week just to finish out the month this week. All right. So I think that's the idea about next week anyway. So we'll see how that fleshes out. But oh yeah, we already did a bunch of updates for the Radiant. Okay, that might work out okay. Let's go down to the Ranger. We did a lot of design stuff involving. We talk about spellcasting with power. I'm just gonna skim over this stuff. A couple weeks ago, we spent time on the Ranger fighting styles that advance from 1st level through 11th level. The ranged prowess fighting style from 1st level through 11th level. We modified Mark of Prey, which replaces Hunter's Mark, favorite enemy, favorite foe. And again, you can look at all this stuff. It's all free for you guys to view here by clicking in through this. I've showed that a couple different times today, so you can go back and look at the replay to catch up on that. Then we updated of course they get empowered attacks as well. Mark of Prey continues to upgrade through 13th level. And then at 20th level, it really leans into it. So technically Death Mark is a further improvement of Mark of Prey. So staying through Ranger 20 is actually pretty fucking cool. We got the Conclaves of Power. We've already done a modification of a lot of these conclaves in the past. And again, we don't build kits of powers for these because we believe we're going to see a kit of powers for all these in 2024. So the Beastmaster should have a kit of 10 spells that they get. In this system, powers are second to spellcasting for the half-casters. So, but we do want to modify their features to work with the power system to help make their features and their spell selection as powers instead, to curve them more into powers. So since they gain powers and spell levels at the same rate, they can curve into martial classes and the full casting classes to gain access to a wide array of different martial powers and spell casting. Like you could take You could get 9, if you take 13 levels of, Ranger, you'll have access to 4 ranks of power, and you'll have access to 4th level spells. That leaves 7 levels open for you to then tack on to, like, say, a druid. 7 levels of druid gives you 4th level spells. 13 levels of ranger rounded down is 6 levels. 6 plus 7 is 13. As a 20th level character, 13th level ranger, you'll have access to 4th rank powers. You'll have access to 7th level spells. A druid, let's check it out real quick. A druid. Oh wait, I don't know why I'm doing all this flippity-doo stuff. Let's just go back to our table of contents. Thank you. Grant rules. There we go. A 7th level druid gets 24 mana, and a 13th level ranger, 24 plus 26. That's 50 mana that your druid ranger would have access to, that you could spend on 4th rank powers that you learn, or spells that you gain as a druid. And you'd have a 6th level druid spell and a 7th level druid spell. And using the mana system, you'd be able to cast either you could cast a 6th and 7th level spell. You can cast 2 high magic spells per day. They could both be 6th level spells. They could both be 7th level spells. It could be a 6th and a 7th level spell. It's going to cost you 6 mana and 7 mana, respectively. But you could have 2 of them per day that you can spend. So you could pick out whatever druid spells that you want, and you can blend in. You'll have 16 powers that you'll learn, which could also be spells instead, plus all the shit you're going to get as a druid. So you can have up to 16 powers that you would know. And then as a druid, hold on real quick. Let's see how many spells this, let's go to, I don't know why I'm typing that in. I can just drop down here. We're just multi-classing on the fly, so you can see how sweet the system curves into each other. Druid, 7th level druid, creating a druid. Druid, spellcasting. A 7th level druid has 3 cantrips. And a druid preparing spells. Druid can show them to prepare, you can cast one of these spells, you prepare the list of druid spells that are available in your casting spell list. When you do so, choose a number of druid spells equal to your wisdom modifier plus your druid level minimum of 1. So assuming that, say you had 18 wisdom by 20th level, you'd be able to prep 12 druid spells and 16 martial powers, and you have a mana pool of 50 for you to do it. Like, that's a really good ranger druid mix. And then you could wild shape and use your martial powers while you're wild shaped, because they're not spells, they're martial powers. So you'd be able to use your full kit of martial powers while you're a druid wild shaped into an animal. That is so sick. God, give me that. So much fun. So much fun. All right, let's get stop geeking out, Phil. Let's get to work here real quick. Let's see what the Beast Companion does. So assumes we're using the revised TCE Spirit Companion option feature. Spend 2 mana. You can resummon Companion to full hit points. You can take damage. Hey, how you doing, Kron? I'm only here for like maybe another 15 minutes today, but I've been on for like 2 hours. So you're welcome to catch up if you want. Whenever. But right now we're going through. We already had done the conclaves for the converting the conclaves into the power system, but it's been like 3 months since we've updated them. So I wanted to take the opportunity here, since we finished the Kinsei monk above, and boy, that took a while. But I'd play the Kinsei in a heartbeat. I'd play any of these guys in a heartbeat. They're all so fucking cool now. I'm so happy. I am so happy with this system. I keep churning through it to find flaws, and occasionally I'm finding some. But that's what the playtesting is going to be for. It's going to help find things that I can't see. Spend 2 mana, resummon creature full hit points. You can take damage from your companion using your own hit points, while you can see your companion. Companion can move and act in tandem with the ranger during their turn together. Companion natural attacks qualify as melee weapons and unarmed attacks for feats, powers, and other options that require these specific attacks. So basically your animal companion becomes an extension of yourself, kind of like the Echo Warrior does. So, but the animal companion, it has its own hit point supply that it comes in, but you can always use your own hit points to keep your pet alive if it's in a good position to fuck with a target. So enjoy that. Let's see. Ranger can use an action or bonus action to command your companion to take any action, including single attacks. At 5th level, Ranger can now use any number of attacks during the attack action to command your companion to attack instead of making your own. And then Ranger and Companion both have reactions each round. Whew, that's good. Allied Tactics, 3rd level, you can choose for your companion to channel any exploit or maneuver power you know using your mana pool and power die. So you can use your channel, your companion basically as a mobile power station that can unleash, because maneuvers can like cause fear on something within 30 feet, for instance. Make a saving throw or be afraid. Like your beast charges forward, it's like, ah! And it can run away even though your character's like 120 feet back. I love that. Coordinated Combat, 7th level, you can choose for your companion to channel any reactions or smite powers you know using your mana pool and power die, and you can use or benefit from any feats you know. Let's see. Maneuvers, I think they already... Wait, isn't that redundant? Companion natural attacks. Oh, wait. Companion natural attacks qualify as melee weapons and unarmed attacks for feats, powers, and other options that require these specific attacks. Unarmed attacks qualify as melee weapons, and unarmed attacks qualify as melee weapons of 1 silver piece in value, and unarmed attacks for feats and not powers, feats. I'm glad we're doing this. And other options that require, so like if you have like Sentinel, for example. If you have the Sentinel feat and your creature has a reaction, your creature could use Sentinel. Ranger and Companions both have reactions each round, and any feats and your creature knows your feats. So Rangers can use actions or bonus actions to command your companion to take any actions, including single attacks. At 5th Ranger can now use any number of attacks during attack actions command. Do I specifically say here? Ranger can use an action or bonus action to command your companion to take any action and continue, including single attacks. The companion can benefit from any feats you know. Period. There you go. There. That, I think, makes it clean. And you both have a reaction. So that keeps it clean. Fucking sick. Allied Tactics. 3rd, you can choose for your companion to channel any exploit. That actually, let's switch that to any exploit or strike powers, using your mana pool. And then coordinated combat, you can choose for your companion to channel any reaction or maneuver powers using your mana pool. That's much better. And then at 11th level, Gestalt Teamwork. When taking the attack action, you gain a 3rd attack that can only be used to command your companion to attack. Love that. And then Shared Power. When you channel a sustained power, your companion benefits from the effect as well. There you go. So that's, honestly, I think that's awesome. So I'm okay with that as is. I'm sure Drake Warden's gonna smell similar, but let's kick through it just to make sure I have all my shit straight. Assumes that we're using the Drake stat block. Spend 2 mana to resummon it with full hit points. Companion doesn't have his own hit points. Use Ranger hit points? No. Oh wait, and then Companion has temporary hit points equals Ranger's proficiency bonus times 5 in the 30. Okay. Companion can move. Actually, I should probably just use the Beastmaster language. You can take. There we go. That's much better. Let's just do that. That's much simpler. Because the template already provides the hit points. There. You can take damage for your companion using your own hit points. Companions can move and act in tandem together. Your Drake can move and act in tandem with the ranger during their turn. Rangers can command the Drake as a bonus action or as an attack. Ranger and Drake both have reactions each round. Ranger 5 equals can command Drake to attack as a bonus action or as one or both attacks per round. If companion, it can use Ranger's actions to act as the player describes. That's kind of obvious. I don't think I need to have that. And then Ranger 5. There we go. And then shared power. Each can channel exploits and strikes through companion die rolls. Bond of Fame and Scale. Deal extra power die of damage on attack instead of a d6, so it's just automatic. And then resistance as source. Gain resistance as color of dragon dictates. CPH, I'll probably reprint that. Shared power, you can channel strikes to the companion. You can channel. How'd that go? Why am I chasing this is? Reactions and maneuvers. Thank you. Reactions through the companion. Breath weapon, as printed, costs 3 mana to recharge. Shared power can channel maneuvers through the companion. Companion or ranger can be the point of origin. And then perfect bond and shared power. Perfect bond, reflexive resistance as TCE. Sorry, CTCE. I'll probably add that eventually. But I'm pretty happy with that. And then shared power, when you channel a sustained power, your companion benefits from the effects as well. Toots sweet, man. Get frenzied. Let's see. Fey Wanderer. Fey Wanderer. Dreadful Strikes. When you hit your marked prey with a weapon attack, deal an extra power die. Your marked prey with a weapon attack, deal an extra power die of psychic damage. And then Otherworldly Glamour, C as TCE. Is that true though? Ranger. Trickboard. What am I looking for? Oh, Fey Wanderer. Right. And what is it? Otherworldly Glamour. Your frayed qualities give you a supernatural charm. As a result, whenever you make a charisma check, you gain a bonus to your check equal to your wisdom modifier. You know, +1. Yeah, I'm great with that. In addition, you gain. Glad we're doing this. You gain the skilled feat. Gaining proficiency in deception, persuasion, and Persuasion. If you have any of these already, you can choose a different skill, tool, or language. There you go. Skilled is such a great feat to give to subclasses. It's just so useful. So useful. Equals supernatural charm. Equals charm effects. Yeah, we can clean this up later on. Charisma checks gain bonus equal to wisdom mod +1 minimum. Fucking sweet. All right, how are we doing? Oh man, we're about to run out of time. So we're probably gonna, well, we should definitely come back and do some more of this. That is for honky-dory sure. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put a bookmark on this for now. Start Ranger conversion relook. So looks like next week we're probably gonna finish that. Well, yeah, we'll do 2 days that has the, hold on, wait for it. There you are. All right, so that's time. We're gonna call it for today. I suspect, yeah, Monday and Tuesday next week, I think we're doing martial powers. Friday, we're gonna do more Wild of Eldraine monster conversion. Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna be back in about an hour or so to do some more Eberron creature tokens. So on Monday and Tuesday, we're gonna continue converting. We'll probably get through one monk subclass feature each, considering how long it takes us to convert each one of them, which I'm absolutely fine with. I'm not in a rush. I'm just looking for quality and fun. So when we come back, we'll do Long Death, which is going to be awesome. We'll probably do that on Monday. On Tuesday, we'll probably end up resolving the open hand. And then on Friday, we'll do Eldraine. And then Monday, the following week, we'll come back. We'll take care of the Sun Soul. And then Tuesday that week, we'll start digging in and plowing through these Rangers. They go pretty quickly, so we might actually be done with them by Tuesday. So by Tuesday, 2 weeks from now, which will be, what is that, 2 weeks Tuesday? December 5th. So by December 5th, I'm suspecting we're going to be done with the Ranger, the Paladin, the Monk, the Barbarian, the Fighter, the Rogue, all of those guys. And then I think we'll probably... through the 12th, probably go back and look again at the artificer subclass modifications if we need to make any. I think that needs to be touched on, and then from there, since we'll have all the subclasses converted and updated with all the new tech that we've built in over the past 4 months, I think from there on forward we'll be cleared to start messing around with monsters and start changing gears in the channel to start talking about the playtest campaign we're going to build to test all this stuff at 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th level. So, and we won't start the playtesting until the Spelljammer book is done and our the Eberron project moves forward to our Monday through Friday project, and then the martial powers can rank up into the Monday, Thursday night during weekdays as well, and we can pick out one of those either Monday, Friday, Thursday, or Saturday for us to run a martial power playtesting for like maybe 4 hours a day, and just do like a pickup hex crawl campaign sort of thing. I've got it well structured for that, so stick around to find out about that. And of course, if you're a Patreon subscriber for at least $1, you have preference in what day of the week we're going to do the playtesting, and if you're available on that day, you'll have preference in having a seat at that table until you get yourself fired, basically. I'm a pretty fair judge, but I'm always looking for how much of a team player are you trying to be, and how sincere are you, or are you just trying to cause trouble? If you're causing trouble, I'll end up firing you. I don't expect you to keep Patreon at that point. So, I mean, cheers. If we have too many people that are patrons for seats at the table, then we'll do a raffle. If we don't have enough patrons to be able to man a table, then patrons get first seat choice. Any spare, we'll put it out to the community, like Indestructible Boys Discord, Durzazad's channel, Trent Monk's channel, Dungeoneers Pacts, Wallies, and Zipperons will probably be probably the 5 or 6. Oh, Dice Try will probably be like the 6 channels that we offer opportunities to play in a Ravnica hex scroll using color mana with these martial power stuff. Really looking forward to it. But that's it for today, guys. God damn, I'm really loving this stuff. It's considering the amount of playtesting I want to do, it's probably going to be a year before this thing publishes. But you guys are really going to have a really, really good look at this system on the way to getting there, and it's just gonna end up fleshing out the full system that we have here. All 13 classes will have a color man and identity. You can also check out Pacts and Patrons of Ravnica, which offers 10 different otherworldly patrons using the guilds of Ravnica as the otherworldly patron. Each one of them has its own source. There's 5 additional pact boons that you can choose, and about like 30 some odd new invocations in there, and it's all coming from a color perspective. I love color magic. It is so fucking cool. Man, I love it. Anyway, I'm out of here, guys. I'll be back in a little while to do some more Eberron stuff. Looking forward to seeing you guys there. If you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, bell icon. Would love to have you on board in the future. So, see y'all on the other side.